This video was brought to you by YugiohMint.com. Check out their selection of over 20,000 cards and prices better than TCG Player.
Alright, what is up YouTube? I'm Cool40 here. Today we're going to be looking at Shadow Paladins with the 16 card expanded G-Zone. Quite a few people have been requesting this. Also guys, check out YugiohMint.com in the description. You guys enter Robbie on checkout and save yourself some money, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. A few people have been requesting an update to the Shadow Paladin deck to get a view at the 16 expanded G-Zone and just some general thoughts on the meta. I've been testing a lot more Gear Chronicle than Shadow, so my knowledge on this might not be super well versed, as this is still in the drafting for the current meta changes. If you guys haven't really got the chance to play a lot of this current meta, this card dictates a lot more than people are going to want to give it credit to. You can't ride down for very long unless you want your opponent's entire deck to turn on. Most of the Gen Break 1 decks all are based on just the ability that, granted, Harry and things like that are good, but with Gear Chronicles, having your Gen Break 1 just turn on for you to start your entire Time Leap engine is really ridiculous. And it's one of the things that Surprise gives a lot of decks right now, is the ability to turn on their Gen Break 1. It's one of the things that is a little bit different for Revengers, because the only real Gen Break stuff that is involved in our decks is really the Dark Heart. And granted, yes, having that turned on is a thing, but with an old generation deck like this, you're still relying somewhat on Limit Break amongst other things. So technically your gameplay can slow down, but at the same time you have to be as aggro and as efficient as you can. That's one of the things I'll talk about as we're digging into the deck here. So my lineup for grade 3s, I definitely feel stays the same. Still 4 Mordred, 4 of the Legion Dragon. I'm going to be making quite a bit of references to the extra deck now, or the Stride deck, for skill trees. You have many different paths that you can go down. One of the things you get with a deck like this is you get the ability to have Break Ride, you have Legion, obviously Break Ride Legion, you have many options in the Stride deck as well. So with something like this, you have to decide how you wish to play it based on the matchup. And it's one of the things I've still got to get used to, because you can't take the minimal down anymore with the blaster, because your entire opponent's deck can just turn on out of the left field, and that can really fuck you up. So currently we're sticking to this. Raging Form is good, don't get me wrong, but definitely I still like Mordred, just for the aggressive hit and the ability just to turn on Judge Bow and get massive advantage through this little pup. So he's still really good for that reason. So 8 grade 3s, no real reason to change anything. Judge Bow as your starter. Once again, nothing else really noteworthy there. So there's that. Next up, triggers. So we are still on the current 4 crit, the current 8 crit. So it's pretty important to take note. You still want to be as aggressive as you can with your deck. And it's definitely something that a lot of people kind of take for granted when playing this deck. A lot of people don't want to be aggressive. They want to hold back. You can't do that. You have to push for numbers, push for as much damage as you can, because you have to play aggro control and control your opponent's board. And unfortunately, it's one of the things I don't really know you can do super well anymore. 4 draws. I kind of want to cut this is down to 2 and play 10 crits, just to get the luck factor, but still a little bit indifferent about that. And then 4 heals. Definitely not really much change there. I gotta see the impact on the meta before we really change much else. Next up, grade 2s. Grade 2s, 4 of the Blaster Dark, still very controlling. 3 Maka to ensure that you can set up your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful additional columns. And 4 of the Blaster Dark Revenger, once again, control, and hey, maybe if I Sabreeze early, I can call it extra stuff. So, there's that. Alright, grade 1s. Triple Dorant, 4 of the Young Maclear, triple of the Transient Masquerade, 2 Darkheart, and 2 Swordbreaker. So, exact same as it's been, but I want to talk about possibly cutting Masquerade down to 2 or 1 and playing a Stride Fodder. One of the things that Shadows unfortunately has really lacked over time is the ability to stride. And granted, most of the time things have gotten lucky and the stars have lined up with this, but the time has come to where we have to evolve with the times. So the possibility of cutting 1 down for 1 Stride Fodder and playing 2, obviously you can cut back some of your aggro plays. The other thing is, if you really want to go to the extreme and cut 1 of these, but the other thing is, by doing this, you're affecting your overall engine. And that can lead to a couple of other downsides. So I might just start small and just take out 1 Masquerade and test a Knight for the Stride Fodder to put the additional pressure on my opponent, as if I'm playing the extra grade 3 for striding. But unfortunately, I think that Stride Fodder is one of those things that you probably want to put in 2 or 3 of. So just asking and thinking out in the open here, what's your guys' take on that? I still feel that this deck is a little bit slower. I know a lot of people kind of feel that Swordbreaker is a little bit clunky, but it's still one of the best deck thinning cards in the game. So that's the main deck. A couple things considering. Extra deck, 1 Sabreeze. Obviously it's a very costly card, but it resolves, you're good to go. Still 1 Grim Recruiter. Still one of the the best first stride in my opinion. Just being able to hit, get an additional attacker, pretty ridiculous. 4 of our finisher, definitely something. There's not really much other good skill tree options. Alright, I'm currently also testing all of the Aura Geyser, just additional control aspects. Obviously the first one gets you additional pluses, clears your field so you don't get locked out by Link Joker, even though it's not super relevant anymore. And then of course the 1 Doomed for board control. 1 Spectral Diablo, just an additional finisher if you have to go up the stride skill tree. 1 Medu, same thing. If you're in Legion, take control of the game with him. 1 Screw. I'm probably going to take this out for the little bunny guy that lets you draw a card and discard a card. I super don't want to discard, but it is what it is. 1 of the Dark Metal. I'm also debating playing 2 of this. Though it's not a super hard matchup, but our other G-Guardian is pretty shit, and it's the Dark Knight. Currently I'm playing 2 of it. The thing with the Dark Knight is, unfortunately, you have to, the way it works is you move 1 of your other rear guards to the Guardian Circle, which everyone when it first come out thought it would proc this because it was still being placed. No, you're moving it from one to the other. So it would seem like it's supposed to work, but it doesn't. So it's just an inherent 15k guard, but the Crate Elementals seem a little bit better in that aspect. So just a few things to debate there. Obviously we're going to get a better one of these in the long run, but unfortunately for the current point in time, you really can't keep up with it. So this is the current version of Shadow Paladin. Please leave a comment down below. Please check out YugiohMint.com. Enter Robbie on checkout. Save your guys some money. And I believe that's everything, guys. So, check them out. And I'm out, guys. Peace.